To route data using switch nodes in n8n, start by opening your n8n workspace, clicking Create Workflow, and giving it a name like Customer Support Routing so you can immediately get to the editor. Once your workflow is open, add a trigger node. I'll use the manual trigger for this example, which lets you inject test data and is perfect for learning. Click Add First Step, select Manual Trigger, and then test it by clicking Execute Workflow. You'll see an empty data structure, but for our purposes, we'll simulate incoming data by clicking the Add Data to Input button within the manual trigger and entering a field like Status with a value such as Completed. This gives you control over what the switch node will evaluate. Now click the plus icon coming out of the manual trigger. Search for and select the switch node. The switch node is your traffic controller. It looks at a specific piece of incoming data and, based on your rules, sends that data down one of several output branches. This is far cleaner than stacking multiple IF nodes when you have 3 or more potential paths. Double-click the switch node to open its settings. You'll see 2 modes, Rules Mode and Expression Mode. For most real-world workflows, stick with Rules Mode because it lets you define explicit conditions for each output without needing to write code. With Rules Mode selected, you'll define what field to evaluate. In my test data, I use Status, so I'll select that from the drop-down. The comparison operation should be equal, and the value to match is completed. Click Add Rule to create your first output. It'll appear as Output 1. Now add a second rule for pending and a third for cancelled. Each rule creates a separate output on the switch node. You can rename these outputs by clicking the label on the node itself. I'll rename Output 1 to Complete, Output 2 to Pending, and Output 3 to Cancelled. This makes your workflow instantly readable when you revisit it months later. Click Execute Workflow to test your first route. Since my test data has status completed, the green dot should appear on the complete output. If it doesn't, double-check your field name and spelling. Data from different sources often has inconsistent capitalization. For example, complete with a capital C is not the same as completed in lowercase unless you adjust the comparison to contains or use expressions to normalize. That's a common pitfall. Always preview your data structure by running the trigger node alone and examining the output schema before building your switch rules. Next, add a fallback route. In the switch node settings, toggle fetal back output to enabled. This creates an additional output that catches any data that doesn't match your defined rules. Think of it as an other or unknown path. This is critical because in production, you will inevitably receive unexpected values like archived or null, and without a fallback, that data is simply dropped and lost. Connect a simple no-op node or a notification node to the fallback, so you're alerted whenever something falls through. Now attach processing nodes to each switch output. Click the plus icon on the complete output and add, say, a Gmail node to send a confirmation email. On the pending output, add a Slack node to notify your team. On the cancelled output, add a Google Sheets node to log the cancellation. Each branch can be completely different. The switch node ensures only the right data reaches each service. For multiple conditions on one output, you can use AND rules within a single output or OR logic by duplicating the output name. But for simplicity, one rule per output is easiest to maintain. Test every single route. Change your manual trigger data to pending and re-execute, confirming the Slack node lights up, then cancelled, then a random value like error to verify your fallback catches it. This systematic testing prevents silent failures when your workflow goes live. Finally, save your workflow and click Active to put it into production. Once activated, the switch node will evaluate every incoming execution in real time, routing each piece of data to its appropriate handler. The beauty of the switch node is that it scales with complexity. If you later need to add a refunded status, just add another rule and output. If you rename your status field to order_status, simply update the field selector in the switch settings. You can even use expression mode to return an output number based on a calculation, useful for things like routing by temperature sensor readings or score thresholds. Just remember, for straightforward categories, rules mode is clearer and easier for others to understand. As a recap, you now know exactly how to route data in n8n using switch nodes, turning a single trigger into a clean branch-based automation. This approach keeps your workflows organized and maintainable, especially when you're handling customer requests, order processing, or notification systems. If you ever need to revisit these steps, save this video for reference. Happy building!